You know, look out over any part of rural Wales and you might think that this is a really lovely place to live. And in many ways that's perfectly true. But scratch below the surface and there are disadvantages. Poor services, low level of wages, places closing, and so changes have been taking place within this rural economy. Perhaps the collective term of rural poverty is really only a shorthand to capture some of these issues. So this is why the National Lottery Community Fund set up a 5-year rural programme, and Severn Wye and the Bro Partnership were commissioned to undertake the work. The lottery wanted to focus on rural communities that hadn't previously received funding, and after much deliberation 14 were selected, and here Llandyssil was one of them. And then the real work started, arranging meetings, getting a feel of the issues, and arranging a series of events called story studios, often held over weekends. This, importantly, was a bottom-up process that focused on getting the community to consider their area, their problems as well as their assets. And a key to this was improving their confidence and skills. The lottery allocated around 140,000 for each group, which came to the substantial total of 2 million. It was vital that the groups worked closely with other organisations such as local authorities and community councils. This process is summarised by our 4 outcomes. First, increasing capacity. Secondly, to encourage others, especially local authorities, to support them. Thirdly, to actually reduce poverty. And finally, to learn the lessons from the approach. And now, as we approach the end of the Rural Future programme, the question is, well, has it worked? There's no easy answer to this, because this work took place at a time when the rural communities were under a huge amount of pressure, including, of course, COVID. Well, that being said, we're delighted with the response because all of the communities submitted their applications, used the £2 million grant, and besides that, raised £500,000 alongside. But that's just a headline statistic. To really understand how this programme has changed communities, you need to take a look at the short films we produced. The films tell the human story, the challenges, the setback, and the successes that come with any intensive community programme. And what can we learn? Well, it may not be possible to replicate this across all of Wales, but there are some inspirational stories here. One option would be to foster peer-to-peer exchanges, building up a collective web of information and ideas. There's little doubt that we in Wales will face unprecedented challenges in the future, but we must look for new ways and new direction to ensure that we have a viable and economic future for our rural hinterlands. Well, I feel from what I've seen that the Rural Futures programme has been such an important part in informing this amazing journey.